portable belt sander, and it's called a belt sander because the belt makes a continuous loop around and just continues, goes around and around. With this machine, the belts do come in different grits, and the coarser the grit, the smaller the number, the larger the number, the finer the grit. This belt is removed by lifting a lever inside here that says pull to remove. So you pull this up, and sometimes it's a little difficult to remove the belt. Okay, you would only remove the belt basically whenever it's worn out or you were to change it to a different grit of belt. To put this back on, you need to know that you have to look inside to find the arrows inside the belt, and here you can see that the arrows, those arrows point in the direction of rotation, meaning that that is the way that this belt should rotate, is the way those arrows are pointing. You can turn it around and put it backwards, but then because of the seam, you take a chance of tearing your belt off the machine. So make sure that those arrows are pointing in the direction that the belt travels. We put the belt back on. Put the clamp down to tighten it. Then at that time you're concerned then with how the belt is going to track before you start using it. Okay, now that I have the belt on there, the best way to make sure that your belt is tracking properly is to go ahead and plug it in. So pull the receptacle over and plug it in. Then pull the machine back up on its heel, and actually with the thumb then turn it up to make sure that this belt is tracking properly. If you notice that when I did turn it up, the belt turns in this direction, or a clockwise direction when you're looking at the open side of the machine as opposed to the closed side of the machine. Okay, so it turns in a clockwise direction. When we turn it around to the closed side of the machine, you see that there is a knob right here that is a adjustment to adjust the alignment of that belt. If I turn this a little way, you can see then that the belt is starting to move off. The belt is starting to move off the machine. In fact, you can continue to turn it that direction, and you can actually just flip the belt completely off the machine. So in order to adjust it properly, then I have to start turning the adjusting knob back the other direction. And again, it's better if I just click it on. As you can see, it was better that if I turn it on and then finish the adjustment so that you can make sure that it's tracking properly. When you're using this machine, the material should always be larger than the bottom of the belt itself, so that it would be wider and longer than the exposed surface of the sanding belt. Also, when you're using this machine, then you should, again, like with any other portable sanders, you need to set up and use a continuous motion to completely cover the entire piece of your material that you're sanding by moving it back and forth in a regular motion. When using this machine, the thing that you have to remember is the fact that you cannot let it sit in one spot. You also make sure that you let the weight of the machine do the work. By sitting in one spot, I mean if you just set it down in one spot and try to sand on one spot, you're actually going to start to sand off the material in that area and make a big dip in your wood. So therefore you need to make sure that you continually play your machine over the entire surface of your piece of material, and that material is firmly anchored or firmly clamped so that it does not move out, because this machine has quite a lot of power. This machine is not a do-all machine, and you need to be very careful when you're using it so that you do not mess up the surface of your piece of material. When you're all finished with this machine, if the dust bag is getting full, then that dust bag should be removed by pulling it up and out, and then taken over to the garbage can, unzipped, and then the sanding dust dumped out of the dust bag. Bring it back, put it back together. You've unplugged your machine, then wrap up the cord on the machine, take the machine over and put it away in the spot that's been specifically designed to hold this machine.